Hello there, fellow folks. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back for the Anime Podcast Show. Right here, I'll be talking about my favorite series. Also, we'll be talking about some other topics and segments if something I'm interested on. For this week's episode, in the first segment we are kicking off with is which anime series I got into during the post-pandemic era. So, this next series I'll be talking about, this is in the year of 2023 still. This series, in your school, you have a practical training, and that is called couples training. And somehow is that which students develop a social skills on interacting with a partner as if they were married. And they are judged heavily on how well they work together as a pair. And they were monitored. So, with our main character, Jiro, and he will ended up, well, he has a crush on somebody with his childhood friend, Shiori, and despite hoping he will pair with her, well, it didn't turn out. Jiro is instead paired with, her name is Akari Watanabe. And of course, in the show, in development throughout the story, that these two are starting to have development on with each other. So, who the heck knows? But what series am I talking about? Well, I mentioned the plot and everything. This series is called More Than a Married Couple, Not Lovers. More Than a Married Couple is a manga series created by Yuki Kanemaru and has been published by Young Ace since March of 2018 for over 13 volumes as of now. It's in their final arc in the stretch. With their anime series, it got announced on November 2021, produced by Studio Mother. It aired from October to December 2022. With their dub, it's been dubbed by Crunchyroll. Anywho, what was my interest with the series? To be honest, it was chosen randomly, so I took a crack at it without any hesitation and without expectations what's going to happen. But as I got deeper into the series, I realized it wasn't a random all. The dynamics between the characters, the awkward tenderness, and the miscommunication. It doesn't feel over the top or forced. It felt real. It felt like those situations where two people are technically close, but emotionally miles apart. But that's when I realized it wasn't just another a romance series. It's a casual watch. It's somehow something that actually had layered without talking about. And you see two dynamic characters with Jiro and Akari. And then when you see these two getting closer and closer as becoming a couple, and of course they have 1 year to be a couple for like a couples training. But we don't know how long they will be like this. Because as of now, like I just mentioned, we are in the final stretch, in the final arc in the manga right now, so I have no idea how they're going to pull it off and how they're going to pull it off with the finale. I have no single idea. But I'm still hoping if Akari and Jiro will still be together when we get to the finale. But what I know now in the manga, they are together. But I don't know if they are official yet, so I'm not sure. I don't know if Shiori's still in the story, but I have no clue. So, anywho, that is all for my interest on More Than a Married Couple. Now to the next segment of the show, that would be Topic of the Week segment. I talked about this on the last season, mentioning about best/unofficial anime couples. So let's continue my top 20 list I did. So if y'all haven't seen my top 5, I'll put them in the link below. So now this is number 6 to 10. So I want to start off with number 10. Well, I called it the combination relationship. And this is the most recent series, just came out early this year, back in January. And I'm talking about with two girls. And they has a crush on somebody. But for our main character, he's looking for somebody, and her name is Apollo. But what series am I referring to? The two characters I'm referring to is Rika and Shinobu with Arisu, or Yamabuki, from Midnight Heart series. Why am I picking these two girls? Well, because one of them included the other two, Iko and Nene, but to be honest, these two have a potential as of who is Apollo. Example, you have Rika and Arisu stand out as a couple because of the way their personalities spark both tenets and chemistry. Rika's lively, impulsive, and emotional express nature contrasts with Arisu's calm, strategic, and thoughtful demeanor, creating a dynamic that is exciting and unpredictable. Rika challenges Arisu to step outside her carefully planning and embracing herself as a person, while Arisu approves a steadying influence that grounds Rika's energy. Their relationship is memorable because it's balanced passion, subtlety, showing that love can thrive when opposites push each other to grow. However, you have Shinobu and Arisu form a couple defined by quiet understanding and emotional in-depth. Shinobu's calm, protective, and perspective personality complements Arisu's intelligence and strategic mindset, allowing them to connect on a level built on trust and subtle communication. Unlike Rika's fierce energy, Shinobu brings stable and emotional support, which led to Arisu's share parts of herself she must otherwise kept grounded. Their relationship stands out because it's less about sparks and drama and more about mature respect, patience, and shared insights, creating a bond that feels enduring and deeply satisfying. Not sure what's going to happen with the series, but my vote goes to Rika. So I'm hoping that she will be Apollo, but we're going to find out when we get to it in the future, so who the heck knows. So now, number 9 is Wish a Couple. So this one is a wished couple would like to see from this series called Watari is About to Collapse. And of course, we know the full couple, and that would be Naoto and Satsuki. But I wish this couple was, of course, together. It would be Naoto and Yukari. They're in a quintessential wish for a couple, but the kind of fans can't help that, but roots for even, well, not even, but if the series doesn't fully realize they had a potential, but what makes them stand out is a suitable tenets between their personalities. Like, give an example, okay? Naoto's earnestness and steady support complement Yukari's charm and occasionally, but with their relationship, we see them going back and forth, but creating a dynamic that feels full of unspoken possibilities. Their appeal lies in an unrealized nature of their connection, where timing and circumstances prevent them from fully coming together, making each near moment of it's gonna happen or not gonna happen, or fully understanding of changing with emotions. Well, I would love them to see them as a couple more longer that I would have expected, but it can something be compelling than fully realized in a romance series. But yeah, I would love to see Naoto and Ishihara get together, but it turned out it did not happen because their relationship was kind of complicated. And of course, you have 3 girls about to crush on Naoto. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to number 8. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for this couple to come together. And we already know about this for a long time. From the light novels to the manga to the anime. As of now, the series has been delayed. I'm very sad about it. But these two couple I'm talking about is Alia and Masachika from Alia Hides Her Feelings. It shines as a couple defined by patient, subtle, and quite emotional intelligence. Their relationship is not flashy. It's built on shared understanding and small, meaningful interactions that hinted at deeper feelings beneath the surface. Alia's gentle, vulnerable, and Masachika's thoughtful attractiveness create a slow burning attention that keeps viewers invested. As each of glaring at each other and weighing, it carries throughout in their relationship. But it grows and grows how she teases Masachika. But we already knew how she endures on Masachika from Alia. And we know that Alia is, well, I don't know if she's a shy girl or not. But, yeah, we've seen kind of a shy girl type. And, of course, I don't know if people know about this about Alia, because she is a kind of a tsundere. But with their relationship with Masachika, and I don't know how Alia is going to go through this, because we know Yuki and Masha, they're on with Masachika as well. But I'm picking my vote here, and that'll be Alia. I'm not sure how they're going to flesh it out, but what it would make sense is that standing out in anticipation of growth, it felt like a story still needs emotion, and that would transform every tiny moment of connection into something meaningful, making them a complex story in a romance series. So I'm not sure how they're going to pull it off. Well, we'll see. This next one had a potential. Now fans will be divided for these two, and that will be Kazuma and Megumin from Konosuba. Why them? Why? Well, why? The perfect example of a couple where a potential often overshadowed expectations. Their chemistry is undeniable. Both share a playful, mischievous energy and willingness to endure each other's quirks, creating a hilarious and momentum interactions. Yet, what makes them stand out is how their bond goes beyond comedy, and they stand, and I accept that with how they interact with each other, and I'll go root for them. While the series is often progressive and not taking in the story seriously, but they are taking it seriously, but in a comedy way. But we don't see that in that type of isekai series, in a romance part in that type of genre. What would stand out would be revealing a depth that could have made them one of the great anime couples, highlighting how humor and affection can exist in a meaningful way. But what we can see here with Kazuma and Megumin, I have no idea how they're going to pull it off as a couple, but I know fans will be divided, but I'm not sure how it would happen. So I don't think it would happen. So, number 6, as the last one, want to move on to one of my favorite newest couples I would love to see, and that would be Mamao and Jinshi from Apothecary Diaries. Now, the question is, why them? Why do I pick Mamao and Jinshi? Well, they both are a standout couple in a modern anime because they're built in a relationship on respect and mature curiosity, rather than a cliche or melodrama. Jinshi's position of power contrasts with Mamao's sharp intelligence. Yet they meet on equal mental ground, engaging in subtle games of wit, and obviously that form the formation of the connection with those two characters. But what makes them memorable is the slow burn of their relationship, and each interaction with them deepens their bond, and while meaning intention, and how Mamao and Jinshi will, get together, how will they contrast in their relationship, how they will manage their relationship, and Mamao's lack of easy fluster and Jinshi's strategic patience create a romance that feels earned and realistic, proving that the most captivating love stories are often those that challenges both partners to grow together. So I don't know how Mamao and Jinshi will somehow connect with each other, but I know these two are getting closer every time. So who the heck knows? Anyway, that is it for the topic of the week statement on the top 20. Well, continuing the top 20. So the next time I talk about this, I'll list going from 11 to 15 best and unofficial couples in anime. Now we're gonna move on to the next segment of the show, and that will be Anime of the Month. It's where I review on anime, which anime series we're watching throughout this year, and it has to be a TV series or a movie. So the next 3 shows I'll be talking about, that will be dubs. Dub finales. I want to kick off, to be honest, has to be one of my favorite series in the fall of 2025, and this series is called The Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess. If y'all haven't seen this, I highly recommend. This is such an amazing series. And of course, this series needs to get a second season, so that's all I gotta say. So this story follows a girl who reincarnated into a fantasy novel she wrote years ago when she was younger. Except the version that she wrote during her cringe, dark phase era. And now she's stuck as a villainess. In the world, she made unnecessary dramatic edges and dangerous. Oh my god, this series is so funny. And her character, and her name is Iana Magnolia. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Kelsey. Oh my gosh, Kelsey, you fucking killed it. She is one of the funniest characters I've ever seen. This is like an isekai series. But, yeah, props to you and your fellow castmates. They fucking killed it. I just can't get enough with that show. Like, one of my favorite dialogues. This is in, I think it was episode 5 or something, when she got sick. And then she was telling Yomi, because I think she was dueling Yomi. And she says, she said, "Please, Yomi, don't hurt me." That's so fucking hilarious. I could handle that. And then on the same episode, she gets flirty with Yomi when she said, "My sweet, adorable puppy dog." And then Yomi goes, "Woof, woof." It's so hilarious. Anyway, I'm saddened it's very over. But why do I even love with this series anyway? But like I said, the comedic is so hilarious. An example, I just mentioned just now, I can't even breathe in one episode. I think it was episode 10. And then of course, there were times I was dying with Iana's inner thoughts from her past life. And I just mentioned, oh god, it was so hilarious. But there's another part I couldn't bear is, oh yeah, in the same episode, in episode 5, when she says, "Giggle, giggle." Oh god, that is a very slapstick blend of comedy. I love it. This reminds me of the new Naked Gun. And I'm going, oh, for fuck's sake, it's so hilarious. Its self-unaware narrative and over-the-top villainous tropes just clicked with your sense of humor and with serious moments that comes out. But what really stood me in the finale is how the voice acting carried the emotional shift. The comedy lands because of the timing, but when the darker elements hits in, the tone actually changes. The dub cast really sold me to dwell between parody and higher stakes. But the true story is, when I finished it, I burst out in tears. I am so happy and sad at the same time while it's over. Just I don't want to end it. Like I said, I want to give a shout out to Iana's English voice actor, Kelsey, as her first lead role. You done a terrific job on voicing Iana. You voiced her justly. And if anyone hasn't seen it yet, like I just said, if anyone hasn't seen it yet, I highly recommend and cross our fingers for a second season. Now, with the same goddamn topic I mentioned earlier, and that series is called Watari is About to Collapse. So, it finished at the same time with the Dark History series, but it just, I think it was 2 days apart when it finished. Yeah. But I've had deeply heart on this series. It's about trauma, complicated relationships, and unresolved feelings and characters who don't always make the right choices. And that kind of make a point heading into the finale of the dub. Everything was tense, and the emotional weight that it gets to the show, it had been building for a while. So the question is, would the payoff feel satisfying? The biggest strength this year was the voice acting. The dub performances was incredible. But there were times it was awkward silence, jealousy, and vulnerability. You could hear a strain of a sensibility of these characters that, well, we get to see them for one last time. But nevertheless, this one takes the cake. And whether you like the ending probably depends on how you feel about the characters. For me, the finale felt grounded, but not in a dramatic way. But it fleshed out so many great points how this series was so interesting. And see, of course, you have been Satsuki and Naoto been very good friends for a very long time, and then she runs away. Well, we already know what happened, but she doesn't run away. She was hiding her feelings, and she was hiding her feelings away when they were separated, and then when they got to see each other again a couple of years later, when they're in high school, oh boy, things about to get really turned around. But honestly, it does not fix everyone's issues, but it doesn't wrap things up in a perfect bow, but it just felt like a consequence there. But I truly respect that. Let's move on to the last show, and that would be Spy Family. Now, with the third season, it was really interesting. It leans to further into emotional core of the Foragers. The stakes felt a little higher, the missions felt tighter, and the characters' dynamics gets more development, especially with Lloyd and Yor. Now with the finale for the dub, one thing about this cast is it's fucking unbelievable. Well, props to Alex, Natalie, and Megan. And you guys cracked this show already. And the chemistry is locked in. The comedy timing is still sharp, especially with Anya's moments. But to be honest, it's really satisfying of how this show was so interesting. It reminds you why it works. It's not just about a spy missions. It's about fake family slowly becoming real. If it being critical, Season 3 plays it safe. Compared to the early arcs of the story, but still, Spy Family is a very interesting series. If I know a couple people bailed out with the series after Season 1, and then Season 2 kind of flopped out a bit. Well, to me, no. It's fleshing out so well, and with the dynamics between Lloyd, Anya, and Yor, and they're becoming a real family, to be honest, and with their pet Bond, the dog. But we've seen them so closely, and I'm very happy how their next part, the next part of the journey, we see them in the future. So yeah, and I love them so much. Anyway, that is it for the Anime of the Month segment, and we're about to wrap up. Hope you all enjoyed it. Comment, like, and subscribe. If y'all haven't done it yet, please do so. You won't miss out any content I'll be putting out. Well, take care of yourselves, and see y'all next time.